Hi Taurus, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Taurus and Scorpio on Tuesdays. The deck that I'm using today is called the Gilded Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, my information is in the description below. Also, just as a heads up, sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I do see them. However, I usually only take cards that jump out like these ones have. And usually if they jump out in groups that are too big, I'll go ahead and put them back and continue shuffling. But my goal here is to get you guys roughly 8 or 9 cards, and then we can get started on your reading. So I'm just going to try to pull out 1 or 2 more cards, and then we can get started. All right, Taurus, so I do just want to remind you guys very quickly that in case you enjoy the reading, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment, but your overall energy here is the Three of Cups, which the Three of Cups is actually a really nice energy. It's the energy of reunions and celebrations. So I'm thinking for some of you guys, you might be, in fact, hanging out with some kind of an old friend that you haven't in a while. Maybe somebody's going to make some kind of a comeback. I can see somebody coming back and sort of messaging you and asking how you're doing. That kind of an energy right now. And I can't remember if I mentioned this, but to me, this is very much like going out and drinking with your friends kind of an energy. So that's very good. You guys are going to see sort of an energy of reunion, you know, going out with your friends, just having it be a nice social time right now. And then we also have the Three of Pentacles with the Two of Swords here. So I am seeing that you guys have a lot of repeating numbers, right? So we have the 3 and the 3, and then we have 2, 2, 2. So I'm guessing for a lot of you guys, you might be seeing synchronicities right now, and they may very well be very important to you. So I would highly recommend whenever you see any kind of a number that feels like it has some kind of significance, or maybe is repeating, I highly suggest doing some research into that number, right? Like looking up what does angel number and then whatever the number it is that you've seen mean, because I think that right now you're trying to receive, I think both actively you guys are trying to receive messages from the universe, and the universe is trying to give you messages. So I think that if you're willing to listen, they'll come to you. But like I was saying more about these cards here, you have the Three of Pentacles with the Two of Swords. Now, the Two of Swords talks about stalemates a lot of the time, right? It talks about indecision, and it talks about sometimes not even knowing the whole picture. So it just feels like you're kind of stuck and you can't move forward, right? You're feeling like you're in impasse. So I think that's where this Three of Pentacles is coming in, because you guys are asking for help, or at least receiving some kind of a help, and that help is going to help you be in a better place to where you can take action again, right? Because I think that this inaction is coming fundamentally from something that is out of your control. So once you have sort of these more of these resources that you're going to get through this sort of friendship or help that you're seeing here with the Three of Pentacles, you're going to be able to move a lot more effectively and swiftly. And I'm getting move at all for a lot of you guys. So, unfortunately, I do see that there might be some issues in your love sector, because I see the Two of Cups in reverse. So the good news is you have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a really good card, especially for you guys, because the Queen of Pentacles is representative of earth signs such as yourselves, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So I'm thinking that right now you guys are feeling very much in your element and very fertile as well, because that's what's coming most right now, is the sort of fertility aspect of the Queen of Pentacles. So, you know, if you're not looking to have any children, I would recommend that you act accordingly. But, right, so be safe. But what I mean here is that there is sort of this magneticism with you guys as well. I think that a lot of people have their eyes on you because I'm really drawn to this peacock. So it looks like you guys are, even if you don't see yourselves this way, you guys are eye-catching. And people are sort of turning their heads to look at you. Even if you're not seeing them, it feels like there's eyes on you. And it almost feels like that might be causing some friction in your relationship. Because whenever we see the Two of Cups in reverse, it feels like it's trouble in paradise, right? So I'm thinking that your partner, or maybe someone that you're talking to, is sort of starting to show more of a jealous side, right? Because they're seeing, or at least they think that people are looking at you in a way that they don't approve of, and it makes them feel insecure. And I feel like this person's probably starting fights, or maybe even like threatening to break up because they just can't handle the situation. And honestly, that feels very unfair to you. But like I said earlier, like, act accordingly to the situation. You know, if you think that this relationship is worth fighting for, which I do think you are, I do think you do think that it's worth fighting for. But like I was saying, like, you know, weigh out your options and definitely make sure that you're happy with your decision, because there's nothing worse than making a decision and then regretting it later on down the road. So, you know, certainly be happy with your decision. And if you have the conviction to follow through with your decision, then you're going to be a lot happier with your decision down the road. I'm sorry, I just received sort of like a mental ping here with this Two of Cups. I think that this person is like setting some kind of expectation, and you're having some difficulty sort of getting there. And I feel like it's an unrealistic expectation. Like, they're asking you basically for the moon, and you're like, well, I can't exactly do that. Can we do this instead? And you're trying to compromise and this, that, and the other. But it feels like there's sort of this friction going on because your partner is sort of going on their own thing right now. It just feels like you're trying to, like, you're put in a very difficult situation here. And that's even further confirmed because we have the Moon card here in reverse. I already kind of sort of touched on this Seven of Wands, but the Seven of Wands to me is my worth fighting for card. So I think that for a lot of you guys, you're very invested in this, and this is what you care about, right? And even if you have other options, like we were talking about with the Queen of Pentacles, with the Seven of Wands, like, it looks that you're invested and committed to this person, even though they might not see it. And that is honestly a little bit, how should I say, like, difficult, sad, frustrating, because I think that they've held in sort of these insecurities for a while, and then with this Moon card, they're kind of like letting it go now, and that sort of makes things a lot more difficult for you. I think it's making sort of the relationship a little bit, like, you feel like you're walking on landmines a little bit here, because they just haven't been very open with what they've been feeling before in the past. So now it's all at once, and it just makes it a lot harder to deal with the situation. I feel like if this person had been a little bit more open and a little bit more honest, the communication would have been a lot easier and would have gone a lot smoother. And these are like small problems that could have probably have been resolved much easier in the past. But now that they're a lot bigger due to the time, it's going to be a little bit harder and a little bit more difficult. I don't think it's impossible, but I think it's going to be harder. And, you know, that's a learning experience that I would recommend you make sure that your person knows moving forward, because it really does feel like they need to work on this communication and being a little bit more open when it comes to what they're feeling and thinking. And I think that to some extent you feel kind of betrayed here with this Ten of Swords, that you know, they didn't really feel like they could tell you, like, hey, I feel this way, hey, I feel that way. And I feel like with this Two of Pentacles, you guys are really doing your best to sort of juggle these competing ideas of, like, I like you, I want to move forward, but you also have like these ridiculous standards or like expectations or you need to work on this communication issue. I feel like you're playing good cop, bad cop, like both at the same time. And like, I don't think that you're necessarily in a very easy position in love right now. But like at the end of the day, your overall energy, like I was talking about, is this Three of Cups. So I think that either for a lot of you guys, you're talking to somebody who makes you feel like not frustrated and it's a good escape from the situation. Or at the end of the day, you end up celebrating with this person, even though sort of there's been sort of this hardship. And, you know, even though I talked about all this in the context of love, you can always take this to mean in the context of business, family, work, you know, any kind of life aspect, because I feel like that's all kind of what's going on here. You have sort of this conflict between another person, and then it's because like they haven't been open and honest with you, and that sort of brings you into this betrayed energy. So Taurus, just in summary, I think that you guys are going to face a lot of issues right now that you didn't quite exactly contend with. You didn't see them coming, but I think that you're going to come through it at the end, and you're going to come through it in a very positive way. So I think that's very good news. So don't let this get you too down, because I see that Three of Cups energy in the end. But that was your reading first time around, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please leave a like or a comment, because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Taurus videos on Tuesdays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other Thomas readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.